Arizona has multiple interesting railroads, ranging from the big Class 1 railroads to tourist railroads, short lines, and switching operations. Today, we will be covering the railroads of Arizona. The first railroad in Arizona was the Southern Pacific when it arrived in Yuma in 1877, and it eventually reached Tucson in 1880. Over the years, the state would become home to 76 different railroads, most having been abandoned, sold, or merged. Let's get into our first railroad on the list, Union Pacific. When UP purchased Southern Pacific on September 11, 1996, Union Pacific got the Southern Pacific's Sunset Route, which partially went through Arizona. Some subdivisions that Union Pacific has in Arizona are the Wartburg subdivision, beginning in El Paso and ending in Tucson. Starting in Tucson is the Gila subdivision, stretching all the way to Yuma, where it ends and the Yuma subdivision starts. Alright, the Nogales subdivision branches off from the Gila subdivision at the west end of Tucson Yard and stretches all the way to the town of Nogales, right by the US-Mexico border. Moving on to the other Class 1 railroad in Arizona, BNSF. BNSF has been in Arizona since it was formed in 1995, when ATSF and BN merged to create Burlington Northern Santa Fe Railway. BNSF operates in northern Arizona mostly, but they do have trains in Phoenix. The BNSF Phoenix subdivision starts in Phoenix and ends in Williams, but merges with the Seligman subdivision, which stretches from Needles to Winslow, Arizona. Moving on from the big Class 1 railroads, we will now be moving on to short line railroads. First off, we have the Apache Railway. It is a short line railroad with its operations based out of Snowflake, Arizona. The railway has been in operation for over 100 years by now. Over the years, the railway has been owned by multiple different companies. At its peak, the rail stretched 70 miles. The railway would begin construction on September 5, 1917, building southward to tap into timber reserves for a paper mill. Almost exactly 1 year later, on September 6 of 1918, the Apache Railway reached Snowflake, Arizona. The railway is known for its Alco diesel locomotives. Moving on to another small railroad, the Arizona and California. It was acquired by the Genesee in Wyoming in 2012. It has 3 interchanges with BNSF in Cadiz, Calif, and Maffei. The railroad used to be a subdivision of the ATSF until May 9, 1991, when the ARZC began operations. When David Parkinson of the Park Sierra Rail Group purchased the line from the Santa Fe Railway. In January 2002, the railroad was purchased by Shortline Railroad Holding Company, which was purchased by the GNS in 2012. Moving more into central Arizona, we have the Clarkdale, Arizona Central Railroad. It operates from a connection off of the BNSF Phoenix sub in Drake, Arizona. The Drake Switching Company also operates a connection between BNSF and the AZCR in Drake. The railroad runs 37.8 miles to Clarkdale, Arizona. An excursion train also runs through this line, owned by the same owners of the railroad. The AZCR is owned by David L. Durbano.
We now shift our attention to the southeastern part of Arizona, where we have the Arizona Eastern Railway. It operates 206 miles of railroad between Clifton and Miami. No, not Miami, Florida, Miami, Arizona. This includes trackage rights of the UP Lloydsburg sub between Lloydsburg, New Mexico and Bowie, Arizona. The railway serves the copper mining region of southeastern Arizona and the architectural Gila River Valley. It offers a transload location of lumber, building materials, and other consumer commodities at Globe. The railroad has one interchange with the UP in Lloydsburg, New Mexico. Our next railroad is the Copper Basin Railway. It is a short-line railroad that operates from a connection with the Union Pacific and Magma to Winkleman. The line is 54 miles long. There's also a 7-mile branch line that runs from Ray Junction to Sevier, a copper mine. The Kingman Terminal Railroad operates about 3 miles at the Kingman Industrial Park north of Kingman, Arizona. It connects to the BNSF Slingman subdivision. It is owned by Apache Rail Company. Now moving closer to Tucson, we have the San Pedro Valley Railroad. It used to be called the San Pedro and Southwestern Railroad. It is a short line railroad operating out of Benson, Arizona through a connection point with Union Pacific. The line stretches 7 miles to Curtis, Arizona. The railroad used to run a grand total of 76 miles with a main track from Benson to Paul Spur. Moving on from the short line railroads, we have some heritage railways. The Grand Canyon Railway operates a 64-mile long rail line from Williams AZ to the south rim of the Grand Canyon. The arrival of the train increased tourism in the area. Because of the low ridership, the ATSF suspended passenger service on the line in 1968 and freight service stopped in 1974. Private investigators purchased the line in 1988, restored facilities, and began running passenger trains again on September 17, 1989. Today, the railroad carries hundreds of passengers to and from the Grand Canyon. The Grand Canyon Railway uses F40FH diesels for most trains. However, once a month, assuming there is no fire danger, former CB and Q 282 numbered 4960 pulls on an excursion train from the first Saturday of every month, from March to October. Some Falco FA diesels see occasional use. Now into the second heritage railway and our last railroad, the Verde Canyon Railroad. It operates on a 20-mile long portion of the Clarkdale, Arizona Central Railroad, between Clarkdale and Perkinsville. Thank you for watching this video on the railroads of AZ. I hope you enjoyed it, and I can't wait to see you in another video. Let's fucking go! I did it! I hope you're happy. Now use that, boy!